So a customer called us yesterday morning completely panicked because he lost all his products on his WooCommerce website store. And we went to his website, we looked at the categories, and you'll see here there are several items in the category, and each one has a price and an add to cart button. And what was showing was just one product right in the middle of the page. All the other products were missing. It didn't have a price and it didn't have an add to cart button. So the first thing we looked at to troubleshoot is we went to his products page and we made sure that all the products were still in there, so he had some peace of mind. And then we looked at and make sure the categories were flagged correctly so that they showed up on each category correctly, and they were. So generally that means that there's either a plugin conflict, or there's a WordPress theme conflict, or there's a WordPress conflict itself. And you'll notice here there's a whole bunch of plugins that have an update option on them. Well, we already got into this and we started troubleshooting some things, and when the problem was occurring, none of those update tags were there. They weren't showing, so you couldn't update any of them. They all showed that they were in the current version. So the first thing that we did to troubleshoot is we went through and we deactivated all of the plugins. And he's got a lot of plugins, and some of them are completely worthless and he doesn't need. But once we deactivated the plugins and we went back to the store, it was still having the same issue. None of the products came up. So then we reactivated each plugin one at a time, kept refreshing and checking, and it didn't solve the problem. So we deactivated all the plugins again, and it still didn't come up. So now we went back and we looked at the version of WordPress, and it was the most updated version of WordPress. So we went into the back shop through an FTP. We took out this version of WordPress completely. We reinstalled the previous version of WordPress, and miraculously, all the products came back with the price and the add to cart buttons. So the one thing that you'll notice here on all the plugins, again, is that these updates were not available. So there was either a conflict in the update, or a mistake, a problem, an error in the install of the new WordPress, or there was a conflict with a particular plugin with the new version of WordPress. Because as soon as we went back to the old version of WordPress, all of these updates came up and we could now update them. But I don't want to update them first before we figure out what's wrong with the WordPress install, because that might cause another conflict that would be even more difficult to troubleshoot. So the first thing we did was we went and took out that old version of WordPress through the FTP, and then we reinstalled the new version of WordPress from scratch. And the store stayed up, and all the products and the pricing and the add to cart button stayed up. So we know that there was a problem with the upgrade on that new version of WordPress. And then we went through and we reactivated each plugin, and then now this update button was still there even though it was the new version of WordPress. So we reactivated each plugin, and then we also updated it. And we did that one by one and just kept checking the store. And we kept doing that until we came across a particular plugin that now immediately caused that problem again. So you have a couple options here. If it's a plugin that you don't use and that you tried and it's something that didn't do what you wanted it to do, or it's not something you use on a day-to-day basis, you can just delete that plugin and get rid of it, and now your problem is solved. If it's a plugin that you need on a regular basis and it has a functionality that you like to use on the website, then you have to figure out why it's causing that conflict. And you might have to have a background in PHP coding so you can go in to see if there's a mistake in the code, or you can call or email the plugin owner and find out if there's an option and if they've come across this problem before, and they can send you back maybe some code. But that requires somebody who really knows what they're doing, somebody who has a background in WordPress and coding PHP and stuff like that. So it's not always easy. So one of the reasons why we suggest strongly to our clients that you need a maintenance plan on a monthly basis, because everybody's going to tell you, oh, I can update my WordPress, no problem. I can click a button. I can update my plugins when I need to. And that's not what we're talking about here. We will keep your security updated. We will keep your plugins and your WordPress updated. But more importantly, when there is a problem with those updates, we will also have the skill set and the ability to troubleshoot them very quickly and get your website back up and running, because inevitably there will always be problems when you're doing these updates. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email or give me a call, and I will answer any questions that you have. Or until next time, hope this helps you a lot.